Quazi here, and in this video, I want to talk to you about the coordination period and in general the inevitable grace period and how to really coordinate when life isn't going your way. Because if you learn to do this, then any single situation in your life you can use to your benefit to help you manifest whatever it is that you want. So this is very, very powerful. Make sure you watch this video to its entirety. Before I begin this video, I wanted to quickly announce that I'm doing a free giveaway of my book, Life Mastery. I don't have the book with me right now, but if you want to enroll into a competition to win this book for completely free at the end of the week, just comment Life Mastery down below, and every single Friday or Saturday, we're going to be picking one lucky winner to get this book for completely free in the ebook format. Also, I'm super excited to announce that the Reality Mastery program is undergoing big changes so we can reach more people as I'm reaching capacity with the one-to-one. So make sure you sign up for the free one-to-one consult while it's still available and wait till the end of the video for the announcement on that. And with that, let's get started with this video. Now, in this video, I want to talk to you about the inevitable grace period. And I know I made a video on this before, but I want to get into more detail in this right now because this is something that I've been going through recently myself, and I've seen certain changes, in the way that I actually deal with it, things that are helping me. Now, for most of you who don't know, the inevitable grace period is the period of time when you're, going through the highs of life, but now you're hitting the lows. And this happens to everyone because the more higher highs you experience, the lower lows you're going to experience. And this is primarily because of identification with something. When you get too identified with the events in life that are going on, naturally, you're going to experience these highs and lows, right? So with that being said, let's really get into this video and understand 3 key ways that we can actually overcome this period and actually use this period to lead us to more and more freedom rather than bondage. So whenever you're going through this inevitable grace period in your life, you must understand that a breakthrough is coming. Seriously. Like, I've seen that every single period in my life, whenever I had a downtime, because I coordinated it correctly, I had a breakthrough. I just went to higher highs and there was more and more evolution. So to really understand this concept, think about it as a gym for your spiritual self. What's really happening is every single time you go to the gym, you're putting your muscles under stress, right? You're breaking your muscle cells and you're getting into more and more discomfort and uncomfortable states. But as a result, what's happening? Your muscles are growing. Same thing happens in life. If you coordinate it correctly and use the right principles, then this period of, this downtime you're experiencing right now, what's going to happen is it's going to lead you to more and more freedom. Better things are going to start happening to you. Better things are going to start happening for you. And all of these things are possible because of this coordination principle. Now, if you don't know what the coordination term even means, I urge you to check out a book called Reality Transurfing. I make a lot of videos on it, but really it's a very, very powerful method of manifestation. And it's a quantum physics model of viewing reality and the events that occur in it, and also really explaining powerful method of managing your reality. So I make a lot of videos on them because it's an 800-page book. But if you really want to check it out, I made a video up here or up here explaining the differences between the law of attraction and reality transurfing. So make sure you click up here to check that out. Now, with that being said, this coordination period comes very important. So really thinking about it, you're going to go through a breakthrough. This is what's happening. This is going to lead you to more and more freedom. So the goal is to use this to lead you to more and more freedom. So make sure you stick around till the end of this video, and I'm going to share with you 3 key ways to overcome this. Now, the second thing is this is reality testing you. Every time you go through a downtime in your life, what's happening is you're hitting a new level. So this is going to keep happening over and over because now you're getting through more and more breakthroughs, more and more breakthroughs. Whenever you get stuck and you struggle with something, it means you're trying to break through to a newer level of spiritual evolution, mental evolution, physical evolution. This is what it is. So make sure you start to see it that way. And when I'm describing the keys, this is going to make more sense. Now, the final thing is what really happens in this period and why this period really happens is because your importance level is way too high. Ideally, goal achievement should be like going to a deli and picking out a sandwich because your importance level is so low. Like, really think about it. If you went to the mailbox to collect your mail, Would you really put a lot of importance on it if you weren't to collect your mail today? Or maybe now, maybe an hour later you did? Or it didn't come today? Unless it's something important in the mail, right? So that's exactly what it's like. Whenever you put too much attachment and identification on this particular thing, naturally you're going to start writing the highs and lows of life. Whenever you become your thoughts, then naturally when your thoughts are negative, you're going to feel shitty, right? But once you start bringing awareness to these things in your life, what happens? You're no longer identified with them. You're no longer your thoughts, but rather you start to realize that you have thoughts. And because you're not your thoughts, you can detach from them and have a separation between you and your mind. Whenever you start to feel your body, then you start to have a separation between you and your body. So you're not your body, you're not your mind. You're not the events that are happening in your life. This is just a particular experience of life that needs to happen in order to show you and teach you something. Really stop and think about this, because once you get this breakthrough within you, nothing in life is going to ever challenge you. Every single goal achievement is just going to be like walking to the deli and getting whatever it is that you choose. That's how it should be, really. Some delis are just a little farther away than others, so it takes a little bit longer to get to the deli, but eventually you're going to get there, right? So now why I'm really bringing this topic up is because recently I've been going through this period myself. I've been riding a lot of highs. Everything's been going well with the Reality Mastery program. I've been getting a lot of clients into it, and it's gotten to such a point that my problems have really upgraded. Now I have too many clients to deal with because there's just one-to-one, you can only deal with so many clients. So now I have to either go to group coaching or online programs, and that's what's working on next. And that's why I announced this at the beginning of this video. Now, with that being said, I saw that once I'm trying, now since I'm leveling up and trying to get to this level, problems are showing itself. The biggest test to someone in their lives is when you start a business. I'm so serious. If you really think about it, Tony Robbins had this quote, what he said, people don't have business problems. They have life problems that reflect in their business. A lot of people who are doing 9-to-5s have this security and this safety of, just doing a job that protects them, that they have something to fall back onto. But once you start your own business and you really become accountable for yourself, there is no one to fall back onto. So a lot of your limiting beliefs and, your identity that you've taken up, they start to surface. So really understand that. Now, with that said, in my personal life, I saw that because I was trying to level up to this newer level and going to this newer height, I started inevitably encountering challenges because all of these limiting beliefs and my old identity starts to show itself. Remember the second principle I talked about? Reality is testing you. At this moment, whenever you go through something tough in your life and challenges start to, show themselves, it's your old identity surfacing. What's really happening is your old self and your new self, they're fighting against each other. The new self isn't strong enough to survive, so the old self is trying to overtake it. What you really must do is stop feeding this old self, feeding all these victim mindset and everything like, oh no, I'm not worth it, blah, 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 but rather feed this new self. But there's a right and a wrong way to do that, and that's why we get to the keys. So really getting to an example, I've seen that recent problems that have started to show itself in my reality is clients starting to refund. Now, I had 2 clients who refunded, and this refund actually cost me money because the payment processor that I use, it charges you a certain percentage. So now this actually cost me money out of my pocket, but I didn't realize that before. But I put too much importance on this. I'm like, oh no, everything's going to shit, my clients are refunding, oh no. And I'm just making this problem larger than it has to be. Instead of reacting to it and giving it my attention, I withdraw attention because this is the old self, the old fears that are coming up. Before I even started this journey, I always had a fear that, oh no, what if my clients refund and everything just goes to shit? It's just this old fear coming to surface and really showing itself in reality because you're taking a new journey. But everything always ends up the way you want it if you learn to coordinate right. So I saw that this was happening and I saw that I was getting reactive to it. And as a result of my reactivity, my state has been lowered and I've been perpetuating in this state for a while now. But recently I've realized what's going on and reminded myself of this inevitable grace period and that this is just a breakthrough to the next stage. And I know that a month from now, I'm going to come back to this moment, watch this video and start laughing and be like, oh, this is funny, or this is what happened, but it's just a period in life. These are just experiences in life. Once you start to identify with them, then you become these experiences, and you forget that you're in a video game and a simulation because you become the simulation. Once you do that, every single thing that happens in this simulation actually affects you and your spiritual self, right? So that's the state we don't want to get to. If you really think about playing a video game, like maybe even GTA, you have a character in there. Like, look at The Sims. Let's say a lot of you play The Sims. I used to love The Sims. You have a character in there, and something bad happens, you don't feel anything because you're controlling the character. There is something in control of the character. That's what we want to establish right now, the separation between you and your actual self. Yeah, I am. So with that said, let's really get to these 3 keys that's going to help you coordinate this period like a boss. So the first and foremost step is to really reduce your importance to all of these events. Now, I've made a lot of videos on how you can reduce your importance and even what the concept of importance is. Now, in general, what a heightened level of importance does is it generates an imbalance in the field of nature. If you think about every single thing in your life, there's always going to be a little more importance to something than other things. This is natural. This is how we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to believe that, okay, this is important, that's not important. Ideally, it should be like your mom is just as important as another stranger on the street. But because how we've been conditioned, we believe that this one person has more importance than that other person. And this, again, generates excess potential. Maybe not to a great extent, but it still generates excess potential. This is the very reason people who try to manifest their specific partners aren't able to do so, because they put them up on a pedestal. Now, what really happens when you build too much importance is this excess potential comes in. And excess potential is really something that comes in to balance out that heightened importance you've generated. If you think about raising a pencil up here, it gains gravitational potential. If you think about you putting too much importance on a particular person, then your thought energy creates this imbalance in nature. It's kind of the equivalent of putting the pen up here. The pen wants to go down to the ground, to the lowest energy state. If you think about electrons, they don't want to be at an excited state. For those sciencey geeks out there, they don't want to be at that excited state. They want to come down to the lowest energy level. But they have no choice because of the importance level that you put in there. This is raising the excess potential. So now you must overcome this excess potential and also use your intention energy to get to your goals. So this becomes a very, very daunting task to do. As opposed to if there was no excess potential, no importance, you could just calmly go to your goals and choose whatever it is that you want and then come back, calmly and quietly. That's what the essence of transurfing and all of this stuff that I teach on this channel is all about. So remember that if you just reduce your importance consciously, and if you can't do it consciously, check out some of my videos on how to create situations for yourself that importance is reduced. So remember to just reduce your importance level, and once you do that, you'll see that things become a lot easier. Now, if you would really think about the concept of importance, think about what thing you're going through in your life right now. What if someone from a third world country who wasn't even able to feed themselves came in your position, in your shoes right now? Would they feel what you're feeling, or would they be grateful? Really stop and think about that. There's always going to be someone at a worse situation than you are right now, right? So clearly what's going on is that your reality isn't shitty, but rather you're putting too much importance on it. Because if someone else who's a little more disadvantaged than you came to your situation, they would be grateful, right? But we forget that because we are just too much muddled in our problems and the current state of things. So we can't create the state of things we would actually like to experience. So that's the key. Number one, reduce importance. If you reduce importance, then you create that detachment between you and the event, and it no longer has any effect on you. Even though this is easier said than done, I make a lot of videos on my channel explaining this, so make sure you click up here to check out the videos on importance and how to reduce them. Number two is really using what is known as the advantage principle. Now, every single event that you go in your life, it can either be a positive event or a negative event. In reality, every single event is neutral. There is no good thing or bad thing. Even if someone dies, it's just to create balance in nature. Nature is a perfect system. It'll always be at balance. So all of these events are inherently neutral. Now, the nature of thought is such that we can put a positive attention and a negative attention on things. The way we surf for reality and really shift to lifelines and parallel realities is by the nature of our thought energy. If our attention is positive and we positively perceive it, then it's going to shift us into more and more positive lifelines. If our attention is negative and we're like, oh shit, bad things are happening to me, then we're going to shift to negative lifelines. Do you see how this works? If something happens in my reality, it's an inherently neutral event, but we put a charge on this event. We put a positive or a negative charge on this event. And by the virtue of putting this charge, you're shifting to the corresponding reality. Then your life shifts and the general direction of your life shifts and corresponding events become positive or negative. To really understand this concept, I want to give you an example of two women. Let's say there is Mary and Beth. Mary and Beth both turn 70 years old. Now, the event of turning 70 is a neutral event, right? Mary perceived this event negatively. She says, oh no, I turned 70, my life is coming to an end, shit, might as well collect my things, it's time to go. Beth turns 70 and she's like, wow, I just turned 70. Time to live the rest of my life in complete adventure. She lives the rest of her life climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. She just completely becomes adventurous and does crazy, crazy things for the last few years, left in her life. Last 20, 30, 40 years, however long she lives. But Mary, on the other hand, because of her perception and what meaning she's attached to the event of turning 70, she lives the rest of her life in complete dread. Really stop and think about this for a second. Whatever meaning you've attached to any past event that's happened in your life, that's how your life is turning out right now. Reality is created in this present moment for the future moments to come. There is no way you can change this present moment. Even if God were to come here right now, do you think he'd be able to change this exact moment? This current frame in this whole script cannot be changed no matter what. You can influence your future. What you are experiencing right now is all a result of your past. And maybe it's in this lifetime or a previous lifetime, but this is the essence of karma. Karma is trying to play itself out, and karma is the thing that creates physical reality. So make sure that you put positive meaning to events that have happened in your life. I've seen so many people go through a tough childhood and say things like, oh no, you know what, because of my childhood, I'm like this. And they just turn out to have a shitty life. I've seen other people who have had traumatic childhoods, but still have overcome them and become extremely great and gone on to do profound things. And when you ask them, how come you're here? Because of your childhood was like this. How come you overcame that? And they say, well, it's because of my childhood, right? Those things had to happen in order for me to get here. So they put a positive meaning to that event that's happened in their lives. So always remember that this is the advantage principle. Click up here to know how to use this advantage principle so you can put a positive turn to things in your life and shift to corresponding realities where everything unfolds your way. If you start to practice principles from transurfing, principles that I'm sharing on this channel, you'll see that maybe 3 to 4 months, a year later, your life just turns out positively. Everything just starts going your way. Seriously, I just get luckier and luckier every single day. Everything just always happens in my favor because I'm practicing all of these principles and applying them in my life. And because of these principles that I even teach in the Reality Mastery program, my clients have gotten to a point where good things just happen to them for no reason. I want to help you get to that point where good things happen to you for no reason. And these principles will literally help you get there. I'm not even kidding. These are very, very powerful. So make sure you're even taking notes or religiously apply these principles in your life. So remember that step 1 was reducing importance, and do this consciously, or if you can't do it consciously, let's say you have a fear of heights and you can't really do that consciously, create a safety net under. So I've made videos on that too. Make sure you check those out. And finally, this is the part people have most trouble with. This is the part where you let go. People have a tough time letting go. And by letting go, I mean experiencing this moment fully, letting it come, not resisting it. Too many times I see that whenever I'm feeling shitty, I just don't want to. I don't want to confront that feeling. I just want to be on social media, scroll through Instagram all the time. Even when I was going through this down period in my personal life, I was just scrolling through social media, trying to get something, like trying to see the next thing that's going to make me feel better, or trying to eat food, stuffing myself with cookies, or watching TV incessantly, watching TV shows, but still that discomfort is within me. And this discomfort is wanting to be experienced. So turn everything off, literally just sit down and experience it. Don't do anything, just let it be there. Just watch how it changes, just observe it. This is the key to letting go. You don't have to do any fancy gimmicky thing. People think, oh no, letting go must be much more complex than that. It's always the simplest things that make the biggest difference. So number 3 is letting go. And the way to let go is to experience something fully and remind yourself that I am the experiencer. I am not this feeling. You're creating a separation between you and the feeling. Something is trying to play itself out, but you keep stuffing it back in. The more you stuff it back in, the more it keeps playing over in your life over and over again. The more it keeps persisting because you're resisting it. Whatever you resist, persists. So with that, I conclude this video, and I sincerely hope this helped. Just to recap the gist of this video, why bad things are happening is because of really 3 main reasons. First one, this is the inevitable grace period. This is life just testing you. Number 2, your old self, your old identity. The 2 selves are at war with each other. Your new self is trying to survive. The new self that is fit and worthy to achieve your dreams is trying to survive. But the old self is trying to overpower it. And it's not fit and worthy to, receive whatever it is that you're going through right now and really experience the next level. So you must remember to feed the new self and starve the old self. Because at the end of the day, the most important question is, who are you becoming? Finally, your importance level is too high and it needs to go down. And the 3 keys to that are, first of all, reduce importance. Second of all, really use the advantage principle. If you don't know what that is, make sure you click up here to check the video and the exercise on using the advantage principle and to attach positive meanings on events in your life. Now that I tell myself that, oh, this had to happen in order for me to get to the next step, I know that I'm going to look back at this and be like, wow, I'm so glad this happened. This is me using the advantage principle in a certain way. Even if the benefit isn't visible to you right now, make sure you are just putting a positive event on it, positive meaning on it anyways, because it's not visible to you, but that doesn't mean it's not positive. And finally, learn to let go. And what letting go really means is experiencing this moment fully for what it is. Don't try to do anything. Don't try to, use doingness as a means to escape it, or eating food as a means to escape it, but rather just sit there and experience it. If you want a powerful way to accelerate this letting go process, use the method of incremental surrender. And this is straight from the Reality Mastery program. So click up here to find out what incremental surrender is and how to use it. So make sure you check that out. And I sincerely hope this video helped. Please leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of this. Start applying this in your life. And I know for sure you're just going to get luckier and luckier. With that, I conclude this video. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. Usually videos are coming up every Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. I shifted from my 7-day schedule to a 3-day schedule. Let me know in the comments what you think of this, by the way. It's a lot less stressful and hectic for me, and I can get videos out and also focus on my clients and giving them service and making this program better and better for those who are joining. And also, I'm super excited to announce that I'm growing a massive Facebook group where I'll be sharing all of this kind of stuff. And also, we have a great community of great members. So make sure you take advantage of this. Click on the link below to join the Facebook group, and I hope I see you there. And also, I'm super excited to announce the Reality Mastery program is having a massive shift, and we're going to be accommodating a lot more clients, trying my best to. So make sure you click on the link in the description below to work with me in this Reality Mastery program under my close guidance. And what we're going to be doing is really shifting you at your very core so you can have a massive shift in your reality. And what I saw in my personal life was that everything that I manifested was all a result of who I became at the very core, at the very identity level. When I shifted into the 2.0 version and I correctly did it, I saw that I experienced the reality that that 2.0 version of myself would experience. When I wanted my dream partner, when I wanted my dream job, when I wanted to quit my 9-to-5 and get financial freedom, when I wanted to even get good grades in school or get my physique, the physique that I always wanted. It was all thanks to who I became. Not trying to change my beliefs, not trying to change my emotions, not trying to have, or even do. A lot of people just use doingness and techniques as a means to get something they want. But techniques are really just gimmicks. that they're not really working at your very core. And that's why you don't experience that massive shift that you're looking for in your reality. Just as quickly as the shift comes, it goes away just as quick when you use gimmicky techniques. And I saw that in my personal life when I tried just visualization, meditation, guided visualization, 55 times 5. None of that stuff worked for me because it was just a quick gimmick to try to get a little change in my reality. But identity shifting is what did it for me. And I want you to experience this well. So make sure you click on the link in the description below to sign up for a free one-to-one consult with me to see if it would be a good fit to work together. And I hope I see you there. Till next time. Peace.